Okay, today's video is gonna be short and powerful. I'm gonna get right to the point of why what you're gonna watch is gonna make a big difference for you here today. My number one objective is to help you earn more money. Number two is to help you live a higher quality of life, real estate professional. You wanna build a sustainable and predictable business. If you're a team leader or broker owner, you wanna help your agent do the same thing. And so in today's video, I'm gonna give you a reinforcing conversation on one of the key elements of success. So I've talked about it before, I'm gonna talk about it again, and it's because it is the number one predeterminant factor for your success. It's something you gotta work on every day. You can never take a break from working on this because the more you refine it, the more you work on it, the better your results turn out to be. And so number one, most important element of your success is what goes on up here, your mindset. I know you've heard this before, we're gonna talk about it again, but today we're gonna talk about it in the construct of behavior and identity so that you can really move forward faster, perhaps unlock some of your potential that might be stuck behind a mindset that doesn't always work so well for you. Limiting beliefs, fears and doubts that get in the way, and that is absolutely where your dreams and your business and your quality of life goes to die, right? Your self-doubt, your limiting beliefs. And so today, let's talk about an empowered mindset. What is it? Why is it important? How do you create it? And what happens if you don't have one? And where that could land you a year, 2, 3, 4 from now. Okay. So what is an empowered mindset? Well, really, your mindset is the filtering system for how you make decisions. And decisions made over time drive results. Repeated decisions drive results. And so if your mindset is a filtering system for the decisions that you're making, you have to think about, right, in the scope of your day and the scope of your week, how is that going? Are you making the empowered decisions even when they're difficult, even when your fear narrative pops up? We all have one. Even when challenges arise, even when difficulties arise, are you the kind of person that stays engaged, gets to work, rolls up their sleeves, and does whatever heavy lifting work they need to do, including looking at yourself? Your mindset is going to be the filter that allows you to go forward or to pull back. Think about it this way. We've got both perspective and perception. Your perspective is a lens that you look through, right? One thing can happen. Two different people have a different experience of it based on perspective. Now, your perception is the way you interpret things and how you respond to those things or how you react to those things. And so what's really important about building an empowered mindset is one that reinforces decisions that help drive the results that you want. Because repeated decisions and repeated results starts to become familiar, and familiarity is what forms identity, right? It feels like me. This has been the way I've always done it. This is the way that I've always behaved. This is how I've always thought. This is how I've always seen it. And until you have a shift in some kind of, maybe it's an environmental shift, or you have someone who comes into your life, a mentor or a coach, somebody who actually shifts the way you perceive things, suddenly now you're looking at life through different filters, which leads to different decisions, which leads to different results. And ultimately what we're doing is those results continue to form the outcomes of our lives, which then create the structure of our lives. And all of that comes from what goes on up here. So how do you build an empowered mindset? Well, number one is you got to put yourself around the right people, put yourself in the right environment, right? Make sure that you're talking with or getting your input from people who are, number one, doing what you want to do, right? You never want to take advice from someone who hasn't already done the exact same thing you want to do. There's a lot of coaches out there, there's a lot of people out there who would claim that they know how to do what you do, but if you want to sell 100 houses a year, you should be getting advice from someone who sold 100 houses a year, or at least coached agents who have sold hundreds of houses a year, or for example, has built a brokerage. I've been in the real estate sales business for 25 years. I was a commercial broker. I was a commercial developer. I've owned and operated and invested in real estate for decades. I've built a brokerage now over the last 16 years. We've done hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars in real estate transactions over the many years. You got to take advice from somebody who actually has done the thing that you want to do. right? So that is going to influence and shape your mindset. You want to get around other people, perhaps who are striving for the same thing you are, who are willing to look at their limitations, who are willing to look at their sabotaging behaviors, who are going to take full accountability and are going to drive results together. That's how you build a great mindset. The inputs, right? If you're watching the news, you're probably not going to have a positive mindset. Okay. If you're investing in politics, you're probably not going to have a positive mindset. I'm not here to talk about politics, but you get the idea. Okay. If you're reading empowered books, if you're listening to content like this, if you're continuing to drive the thoughts that are going to help you make the decisions that are going to drive the results you really want, that is how you build an empowered mindset. You're also got to be willing to examine the parts of your mindset that are not working for you, decide if those things are actually useful or helpful, and then say, you know what? I don't want to look at it that way anymore. I don't like that perspective. The way I'm perceiving this situation isn't working for me. It's time for me to let that go. That is a very powerful thing to do. Here's what happens if you don't have an empowered mindset. The challenges surface, the obstacles arise, and you retreat. Right? The next stage of your growth is right in front of you, and you've got to learn new skills and maybe take on a new identity, and that doesn't feel like me, and so you know what? I'm going to hold back, slow down, check with my wife. Good idea, by the way. Talk to my neighbors or my cousin or my parents or my friends who've never done this before, right? What we do is we sink to the lowest common denominator and our comfort zone. And that is never going to work if you want to build a sustainable and repeatable and scalable real estate sales business. Okay, now you get it. Your mindset is the predeterminate factor for your success. You want to rule out anything that is not aligned with what you really want so that the decisions you make are going to lead you down the path of what you really want. And it's something you need to practice and train every day. See, that's the good news, is you can train a positive mindset, right? I don't know if you're spiritual or faith-based. I know a lot of folks rely on faith to drive their positive mindset. You may want to slow your mind down by using meditation or deep breathing exercises so that you learn how to be calm under pressure. It's going to help your mindset. Of course, exercising is going to trigger all sorts of neurochemistry. That helps your mindset. Right? You're going to put yourself in a positive environment where you're getting fed positive input. That's going to help your mindset. You're going to be part of a team or brokerage or put people around you who are going to feed positive energy. That's going to help your mindset. And then what you're going to do is you're going to allow the natural occurrence of the results that are inevitable when you continue to make decisions in alignment with this mindset. I promise you, if you focus on one thing and one thing alone, and that is keeping your mind right, keeping it aligned with what you really want, you are going to create the outcomes that you're looking for as a real estate sales professional. You know this to be true. You can overcome any challenge. You can work through any difficulty when you're committed and your mindset says, yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I must. Okay, that's it for today. Let's go.